Welcome, fellow Jedi and Sith. You are tuning into Imperial Radio, your all-talk weekly Star Wars podcast. Quotation marks on the weekly.
It's season 2.
Honestly, yeah, Al made a joke about that before we started. I was like, oh, what are we gonna say for? Are we talking about how long it's been? And he's like, no, it's just the mid-season break. It's season 2, Imperial Radio. So you're listening to Imperial Radio, season 2, episode 1.
That's right.
I'm so titling it that. Yes, we're back. It's been an amount of time.
It's been a fortnight.
It's been a couple fortnights, my friend. At least a couple, at least 1, 2 minimum. So anyway, we're back. Starting off with a fart. Awesome. So we're back, and we're back in the Star Wars, the thick of the Star Wars universe, and we're back to talk about some stuff and do some things. It has been so long I forgot how to talk into a microphone. I forgot what the words to use and to say and
I don't know.
And to flow. This might be kind of rocky. This might be kind of rough, but bear with your two favorite hosts here as they reemerge themselves in the world of now this is podcasting.
That's right.
So yes, we're back. We got a little bit of an episode for you. A couple. Obviously, it's been a while, and we got that out of the way. It's been quite a while since we uploaded last. Things happen. Things go. Things. I can't even word right now. Please take over for me.
The way the galaxy works, that's not how the Force works.
That's not how the Force works.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know how to word it either, I guess. We just fell off of our speeder bikes.
Yeah.
And we didn't do the foot thing. That's why we fell off.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. But yeah, obviously a lot of stuff has happened in the Star Wars, in the world of Star Wars since our hiatus, since we went into exile.
Yes.
I think one of the last episodes we had was in August or sometime around there, and we were mostly talking about what were we talking about then? The last thing I remember talking about was like Clone Wars, which that started in March, February.
Yeah.
So that would have been not quite but that's one of the last real Star Wars topics we had up until Mandalorian. So you can bet your sweet behind. That's the sound of an M&M. You can bet your sweet behind. Bet your sweet ass cheeks we're going to be talking about some Mandalorian Season 2.
That's right.
I think that's
it's
half the reason we
Mandalorian
got
Season
back
2. As well as Imperial Radio Podcast
Imperial
Season
Radio
2.
Season 2.
The most anticipated Season 2 since Mandalorian in the Star Wars universe. We know.
Most anticipated Season 2 besides insert bad TV show that never... Most anticipated Season 2 since Firefly, if you get that reference.
Yes. Also, we're going to do this now because it's 8 a.m. and because the government says we have to. You need to go get your rainbow flower shop. No, I'm just kidding. That's a deep cut. If you get it, I do tip my hat to you.
I don't. I don't even get that.
What?
I don't get that.
You
I don't know that reference.
That. You know what? You don't listen to Big Jim in the morning?
I mean, I don't.
Anyway,
not since I was a kid.
Southtown Huron, Southwest. Get your bouquet of flowers. Also, they offer candy flowers, so you can eat your bouquet of flowers.
Big Jim 93.3. We don't need money.
That's our local rock station.
Yeah. That's yeah. So anyway, Mando Season 2, we are this week will be the 5th episode. So we're 4 episodes in already. So we're a little late to the party, but how you been looking at Mando Season 2? How's that been for you?
Okay, so we have not been doing our watch parties like we used to do.
That's true. We've been watching alone.
So we haven't really been conversating with each other.
No, not at all.
I
mean, not even, even minus the podcast. We haven't really been talking about it much here and there, but
nothing. I mean, it's been about.
No.
Do you watch an episode? Yeah, pretty good. Yeah,
how'd you like it? Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
That's about it.
Really,
so you're gonna hear some raw, unfiltered, uncut content in between us here because
absolutely, and you're gonna hear some more uncut, unfiltered, unscripted, everything, uncommunism talking between us because. So before we get into the Mando season 2, we're gonna tell you a little bit about what we're gonna do after we get done talking about kind of our thoughts on Mando season 2 and everything that's come with that. So one of the things ever since the birth of Imperial Radio, when we were only just flexing the mind grapes a little bit, trying to come up with our whole idea for our podcast, but when we were sitting on my couch talking about, we should do a podcast, and it all seemed like a fever dream, and then all of a sudden we're doing it, and we're 20-some episodes in, and I remember one of the things that we were always pressed for ideas right away, like, oh, what should we do, what will people like, and obviously the most like stereotypical thing you can do in Star Wars is rank the movies, right? It's like the easiest thing to do is rank the movies. And I remember we would kind of bring it up. It would make its way into a lot of conversations, and I was like, man, I just, I want to, I guess, get that viewership, get that little bit of get our feet wet a little bit before we really get into that territory. That was what I always convinced Al and also convinced myself when I thought it'd be a good idea. I said, I really think we should just get our feet wet first, kind of establish something with Imperial Radio and kind of get something going before we really, because that's a big thing to tackle.
It is.
And it really is. And at the time when we started, there was only, we were short one movie. Because at the time, the first episode, we hadn't even we were just speculating Rise of Skywalker. God, doesn't that seem like so long ago? I mean, that's just crazy. It's craziness.
I mean, almost a year ago.
Literally. I mean, about a year ago, probably around this time, we were talking about doing a podcast.
Around this time, ladies and gentlemen, Imperial Radio was just a little shine in our eye.
Mm-hmm.
It was a notebook idea. It was us BSing about all of our dreams and fantasies of how we were going to do stuff and blah blah blah.
Absolutely.
Like as we sit, we stare at this table Kobe made, and it's got all of his favorite album covers on it. It's a very great table. And another notebook idea was some rock band idea. But this was another one of those rock band ideas that actually turned out. We actually did it.
We actually did it. We went through with it.
Yeah. Because if you didn't know, we're also quite the musicians. We're the jack of all trades, really.
We are the Han Solos out here, just doing whatever we can to get by. But yeah, we're gonna tackle it. We're gonna tackle we're really tackling Derrick Henry on this one. We're taking the whole thing down. Like it's the big boy. We're gonna do this. We're gonna rank 12 Star Wars movies. You're probably asking yourself, 12 was the holiday special in there? No, the holiday specials and everything are not in there.
Though they should be.
Yeah, they probably should be. Well, it wouldn't be fair to the other movies to include such great cinematic masterpieces.
I think it would just be more of a slap in the face to one of the trilogies, I think.
Absolutely. But so basically what we're going to be doing after we talk about the Mando, we're going to be going over 12 Star Wars movies, that being the 9 Skywalker Saga movies, Rogue One, Solo, and the Clone Wars movie. We figured the Clone Wars movie, I asked Al before we started, should we include that? And he's like, yeah. So we're going to do it. We're going to include that one. We're going to include the 9 regulars and then the 2 spinoffs. And it's going to be a while till the next movies come out anyway. And then they're not even, they're not Skywalker Saga. So it's like I think now is a good time to rank
their own
them.
Beast
right.
to rank.
And we will be able to rank them as movies, but these ones are all interconnected. These movies are all exist in the same universe. So I think this is the perfect time.
They are all, in sense, a combined mega movie.
Exactly.
I mean, they're trilogies of the same story.
Exactly.
And there's 3 sets plus spin-offs.
Right.
So
that have to do with
the main goal of what happened with Rise of Skywalker.
And
whether the direction of all the movies gradually, however you see them, they all serve up until that point of the story. So you really can't. I mean, I really hate. It's getting old. The whole original, prequel, and sequel arguments because they're all really one movie.
Exactly.
Yes, they all have their own little deals with them or whatever, but I mean, I don't agree with a lot of stuff on a lot of things.
Absolutely. And that's all 3 trilogies for me.
But you guys don't write Star Wars. So
Exactly.
Let's just bind this. This should not be.
Binds us and penetrates us.
There should not be a partisan trilogy moment. This should be a Star Wars moment.
Party.
No, you're on number 2.
So yeah, and another thing is like, I was just telling Al. So what we did to kind of keep it interesting, and we'll touch more on this. This is just a light little overview of what we're gonna do. We'll touch more on this when we get started. After Mando, but basically I wrote down my list, my own little head list of what I think is the right order. Al wrote down his is what he thinks is the right order, and I can already tell you right now they're gonna be very different. And I can't really speak for Al, but for myself, and I told him before we started, I said, dude, as I'm writing this, you are going to be amazed at how much my opinions on like every single movie. I don't think besides 2 of the movies, which are pretty obvious which ones they are, I won't spoil anything, but besides like 2 of the movies, I don't think any of the movies we kind of had our own little consensus list before we ever started the podcast. So we had on my whiteboard that stood up there, and it was like everybody that walked into my apartment for the first time, it's like, okay, look at the list. If you don't agree with it, get out.
Yes.
And I erased that, obviously, and and we're gonna put down the new list, but I have my own list on my phone, and it looks nothing like that list. I mean, nothing. I mean, besides a few that are pretty cemented in for me.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly different. Nothing
really
is the same. I mean, besides the obvious ones that are gonna be there for me for all time.
Oh yes,
but the rest of them. Not even close to the same. And I think you're going to be shocked. I think you're going to be super, super shocked. Without further ado, or not spoiling anything, let's talk a little Mando first. Then we'll get back
let's talk to Mando. Let's talk Mando.
Oh, gosh. Where do we even start?
Well, let's start with episode 1.
Yep. Episode 1, chapter 9. Yeah. I mean, okay. So, obviously, this isn't spoilers because
there shouldn't be any spoilers.
Hopefully, if you haven't seen it, that's your own problem. But spoiler warning ahead for all 4 episodes of Mandalorian, I guess. Episode 1, the Marshal. Probably my second favorite. It might even be my first favorite so far of all the episodes.
Honestly, I think it is my favorite so far.
Like favorite of the new season. Nothing beats episode 1 for me.
No, nothing will beat that because that has just got so much
maybe the
shock.
next episode, but I don't want to get too many people's hopes up. But the next episode, we can talk about that after we get caught up. But episode 1, the Marshal. So obviously,
I just liked it because I am a Western guy. I watch a lot of Westerns, and that just gave me the biggest. I mean, you put my favorite movies with Western. And you put my other favorite movies with Star Wars, and you had the sex child.
Literally, I mean,
and it was just so good.
And it was okay. That part when Mando's at the bar, and and then the Marshal Cobb Vanth walks in. By the way, we were right. We predicted Cobb Vanth.
Yeah,
Cobb Vanth. Remember that episode where I couldn't say his name? It's like Cobb Vanth. God, that was a long time ago. But yeah, we didn't predict it, I guess. It was a leak, but we were kind of like, I could see that, and we were kind of right. And I think we got it down to about a T. I kind of thought they'd do a little more fighting, but I guess, they were friends after, which I thought it was pretty cool to see a nice Cobb Vanth that's like, all right, you help me out, I'll help you out. I like that more than just I'm going to whip my dick out on this table and try to flex on this guy in full Beskar armor. 'Cause that's pretty stupid. But to me, the character of Cobb Vanth I thought it could have been really cheesy. I didn't think it was that cheesy.
No, I didn't. I
thought it was good.
I'm serious. I think they did it 100% right. I think they did. He played the part just.
Yeah.
It's just perfect.
It was.
He had a Western hint to him, so he could play the Marshal.
Mm-hmm.
They added that kind of spur sound.
Yes, when he walked. Oh, it's like
that.
So. Here's something that I've been kind of thinking about lately that no one's really been talking about, that I can really see anyway, in my immediate, Star Wars Twitter and things like that. So, in episode what was it, 4 or 5, whatever, of Mando season 1. You know, the notorious ending with the Spurs walking up on Fennec Shand, the bounty hunter that they left in the desert.
Oh yeah.
You know the one where he's with Toro Calican or whatever, and then you know the Boots walking up at the end. And everyone's like, "That's Boba Fett." I think that was Cobb Vanth. No one's talking about that.
Yeah, no one is.
I think everyone's talking about like that scene, like, oh, it just proves it's Boba Fett, right? And it's like, I think that was Cobb Vanth. But I could be wrong. Because I was the person right away that said too that it's just Moff Gideon. They're just teasing Moff Gideon, I think. But at the same time, why would Moff Gideon care about Fennec Shand? You know what I mean? Like, why? So I'm thinking more along the lines that it might have been Cobb Vanth. But that was just a little side note thing that I just kind of shocked no one's talking about. Okay, so obviously the big reveal of episode 1, Boba Fett. I mean, that's...
I'd like to point out that it's cool how they used him. I mean, if you noticed this or not, he has the spike of a Tusken Raider in the rifle, the long rifle of a Tusken Raider.
Yep.
And, like the robe of a Tusken Raider. So he was actually probably one of the Tusken Raiders was...
Yeah, he was either one of the Tusken Raiders in that village or that tribe or whatever, or he's been dressing up as one and, walking around as one which is weird to me. I'm not going to lie. That's weird to me. I could see him doing that for the time being, trying to get close to Cobb Vanth for the time, like just for the time being. I cannot see Boba Fett getting pulled out of the Sarlacc pit and then just go and losing his armor. He lost his armor, whatever. But I can't see him going, all right, I'm just going to be a Tusken Raider now. Like, that just doesn't fit his character to me.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's not something he's been doing the whole time. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
And also, I feel like the Tusken Raiders, if he got close enough,
they have to be able to tell. He can't just speak Tusken.
Right, it's like Mando did, but I'm sure it's a language that's
I guess
complex.
Maybe Mando can, so maybe Boba can too.
But also Mando might not have been, because Mando isn't speaking it that that efficiently.
No,
it's like different sects of German language and English language where
sure
there's different accents throughout the whole thing.
Right,
and dialects where. They know he can speak it, but he's kind of like your Spanish teacher.
Right.
He can speak it pretty good, but if you went to Mexico trying to speak it like that,
they'd be like, "Why?" It'd be like British people talking to us.
Exactly.
It was like, "Why are you talking so proper, man? Why are you talking so darn proper, there, guy?"
Exactly. So
I do say,
I just feel like he's been Boba Fett's been doing kind of his own little thing. He's been chilling.
I think so. Just chilling. Yeah, I think so too. I don't think he's...
I just feel like he's been he's good enough with Tusken, like Mando, I would believe, that if he runs into one, he can BS his way around it.
See,
Basically, it just makes it so he can frickin' free roam throughout the Dune Sea without really getting a second look.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So... Besides that, in the first episode, the Krayt Dragon thing was awesome. I thought the Krayt Dragon was great. I mean, that was
awesome.
Some of the CGI, man. Like, the first season was awesome with what they were able to do on a TV budget. This season, episode 1, they literally blew me out of the water.
Yeah, it was better. It was better than some of the movies that we're gonna have on our list.
Yeah, that CGI was amazing. I mean, for a TV budgets are like 10 times smaller than a movie budget for a season. If not more. And they made, oh God, I cannot believe it. Granted, it's Disney and they can do whatever. They have money. They have money coming out the wazoo. They're not going to go broke, but
and probably the best CGI guys in the freaking
right.
world.
They probably have the best equipment, everything I know they have the best equipment. They have crazy equipment for that show. But so yeah, episode 1, Cobb Vanth, kind of the spark notes, the headlines. Cobb Vanth wearing Boba's armor, killing the Krayt Dragon, and Boba Fett. Other than that, that was a lot of stuff. But other than that, not really too much going on. You get to see a lot of cool stuff with Sand People, and
I thought that was cool.
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was cool to actually. You always see them as just kind of like the
you see
the
them
black
as,
sheep
you
on
see
Tatooine, and
you see them as like they're just like almost like they're more animals, but they're really just. I mean, they're not humans. They're not humans under their thing. They're different. They're a different species, but they're the human side of them. If you know what I'm saying, like
I see that as
the sentient side.
See,
not
it
just
was
the
so
monster
Western
side.
that I seen them as like the Native Americans.
Definitely. They're the Native Americans of our culture.
Yes,
of
old Western.
Yeah, of times past.
So it's
your
like
stereotypical, ride up on a horse and shoot a white guy with an arrow. A savage, as they would call them.
Yes, I mean, and we're not saying that as Imperial Radio. We're not condoning that. We are not racist.
But I
we
think people
also
understand
say
the difference in that.
yes. We're comparing it to the stereotypical Westerns and how they done it.
Exactly.
But also, I mean, it's just kind of cool because they had it like they were people, and they weren't savages.
Right.
Because we can say it's about Tusken Raiders because they're not real.
I mean, they're literally like talking, and they're like, they're speaking with Mando, and you can tell that the actually means something.
Right. It's not just
and they have
savage howling.
I mean, they literally. I mean, they're smart. Like they're about as smart as a regular human. They just appear to be idiots because they're savage. I mean, they're pretty savage, but I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty neat aspect of it.
I thought that was a great aspect. It was something that
something we'd never seen.
I almost
before.
want more,
or even just to see a bantha again, dude. Like that was probably one of the most like fan service episodes, but in such a good way. I mean, when do you ever think you're gonna see a bantha again, and that up close? Like you'd ever seen a bantha that up close?
No,
really, not since A New Hope. And it's just they just did a lot of cool stuff with that. I mean, going back to Mos Eisley. And it's just seeing Tatooine again. I mean, when's the last time we've seen Tatooine?
Last season.
No, I mean, besides Mando, when's the last time we've seen Tatooine in live action?
Chronologically.
Attack of the Clones?
Well, no. Revenge of the Sith, but for like 10 seconds.
Okay, yep. You're right. Yeah, okay.
Well, Rise of Skywalker for 10 seconds, I guess, then.
Yeah, okay. Besides... For 10 seconds.
But for that gap.
When's the last time you see anything cool on Tatooine besides Luke's hut? I mean, it's cool, but it's like, when's the last time something's taken place on Tatooine? Attack of the Clones? You know what I mean? Like,
well, Clone Wars.
I know, I'm talking
movie.
live action. I'm talking live action, though. Talking live action.
Yeah.
It just means a lot more in live action.
It does. And I agree. I mean, if we're being real here, I just... It blows my mind on how. Because I'm sorry, I am going to touch on this, which will be in our future topic. But it blows my mind how you can have a whole trilogy and not even bat an eye at Tatooine.
I know, until the very end, just for straight up fan service.
Yeah, but it's like, do you know how much? Like George Lucas had it in the original trilogy, and Luke hated it and all that just as much as Anakin did.
Yep.
But it's like George Lucas put Tatooine in all 3 movies for a reason, because he wanted them to know the importance of Tatooine, and it did serve a purpose, and it did, I guess. I mean, there was no really tie-in with the sequels, but I just think, wouldn't it have been cool if maybe Luke was just like hiding out at his old place on Tatooine?
That'd have been pretty neat. But what if before he goes to before he goes to Ahch-To, he doesn't know where to go, and the temple just burnt down, Kylo just turned, and he's like, I don't know what to do. Where do I go? What if he goes home? That'd be pretty cool. Like, we'll never see it, but like that'd be like a cool comic or something.
Yeah.
Luke goes home, like has like a flashback. That'd be a good comic. We should write that comic.
We should do that.
Let's write that comic. We need someone to have talent to draw, and then we could make that comic. Anyway, episode 2. A good episode, but not so much.
It was a good episode.
It was a more stereotypical Mandalorian episode with less. It was more about the Mandalorian and the show, less than like the greater Star Wars universe.
And people that got mad about that, you need to listen here for just a quick second. Not every episode is going to fall in line with the story. Not every episode.
Not every episode's going to be absolutely groundbreaking.
Yeah, you have to bear with them. They all serve a purpose. If it takes an extra half an hour to fill in that information,
yeah,
it's like they act like, because I don't know if you've noticed this, a lot of people have been yelling at that and screaming at that because it's been a
filler
episode.
Filler, I know. I've heard the arguments. It's probably the only solid argument anybody has ever like. The Mandalorian is probably one of the most universally loved things I've ever seen. Like in anything. I mean, what's more universally loved than The Mandalorian? I can't think of anything. Maybe I just surround myself with just the right people where I never have to hear the criticism. But the only criticism I ever hear of Mandalorian is filler episodes.
Yeah, but at the same
they're
time,
not. Okay,
a lot of
are they filler? Yes, but here's the thing.
But they throw the one-liners in there that people got to pay attention to.
Yes.
Like at the end when the New Republic X-wing pilots come, and they threw in them one-liners about basically they should have arrested Mando, but because of what he did with that prisoner episode, where the voice of Anakin Skywalker and Dave Filoni made their first kind of cameos. Yep. Anyway, that one-liner where they spared him basically because he captured all of those people is what saved him on that. And if you didn't catch that, I'm sorry, you need to pay a little more attention because
you got to use your critical thinking skills.
Yeah, exactly. That one-liner right there made the episode to me, and it made it not filler.
Yep.
And do I care about filler? No. I thought it was awesome to see them cool spiders.
And the biggest thing about filler is, and this is not just new to The Mandalorian, this is every TV show since the beginning of time. There's always, you think about, I'm sure there's filler. I'm sure there's episodes of Breaking Bad where they're like, in one episode they're doing something really important, and then like the next episode they're not doing that.
Oh, absolutely.
But then they get back to it like in another episode later, and you're like, God, this sucks. Like, it's filler. The thing that what people need to understand is that when you have a series that you're watching week to week, right? When you're watching it for the first time week to week, it hurts a lot more to not be on the direct story path because you have to wait a whole week for the episode. Whereas, like, if you 5 years from now, you're like, I'm going to rewatch The Mandalorian, you would not hate those episodes because you don't have to wait a week to see the next one.
Exactly.
You'll appreciate it so much. That's the only reason people care is because they're like, no, I got to wait a week to see what's going on. Like, okay, I thought this episode we were going to see some Ahsoka stuff. I didn't realize we were going back to episode 4. We were going back to Navarro.
I knew we weren't going to see it. That's what they
doubts,
do.
But I kind of didn't think about it. And
they know what they're doing. They know how to grab your attention.
Absolutely.
They know how to maybe make you a little pissed.
They're making you anxious and making you giddy to see.
All it is they want to grab your attention, and they just give you nibbles at a time. But guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, we have now seen 100% of the trailer in these first 4 episodes.
Yeah.
So everything else that you've seen
is
all new content.
Is all new, and
you've never seen it.
It's going to be Baby Yoda all over again. I mean, it's going to be the big reveals. I think my prediction for this season, I'm not going to predict what it is because I don't know what it's going to be. But I'm predicting with everything all this stuff they're throwing at us right now, it's just coming in all left and right. Pretty decent sized reveals and speculations and stuff. I'm thinking there's going to be something big that happens towards the end of season 2. I mean bigger than Baby Yoda.
Oh, I'm going to put my speculation out there. They announced all these things because they're like, oh, they're just giving away the season with Boba Fett and stuff.
Because that's nothing.
That one hint at Boba Fett on Tatooine, that could be it. That could be the only hint at Boba Fett, and they won't even go back to it till season 3.
Absolutely.
I mean, they know what they're doing. They know how to grab your attention.
Or just like how everyone was like, well, they just leaked all the information about Boba and Ahsoka and Bo-Katan, and everyone's going to be in the new season. There's nothing left to speculate anymore. It's like, maybe it's because that's nothing compared to what they're going to compared to what they're bringing. I think that's my opinion.
The last time you've seen Ahsoka Tano was when she went out to find Ezra Bridgers.
Yep.
So it's like, maybe Ezra's going to be with her.
Maybe.
You don't know that.
I'm thinking they're going to tie, like...
They're going to try and tie everything together.
They said The Mandalorian is somewhat of a gap between the originals and the sequels. Like, it's kind of like the Clone Wars of that.
Yeah.
I think towards the end of season 2, especially with this whole stuff in this last episode, which we can get on that in a second, but I think starting the end of this season and into the next season, we're going to start bridging. We're going to start seeing some sequels type of stuff. I mean, some deep stuff. Some stuff that's probably going to make the sequels look better in the long run.
And they very might. I mean, that's the thing. People really didn't like. I shouldn't say didn't like. They didn't appreciate the prequels until they actually seen the Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, and then you watch
and
the
then
Clone
they
Wars, and
loved
you're like, this everything's changed now. I mean, these movies get 2 extra points just because of the Clone Wars. Yeah, I know. I think that's kind of what it's going to be
and
for
I'm
the
not
sequels.
saying that the sequels were bad. I'm just saying that it's just so hard because there was such a gap, but yet in that gap, it just like completely shut off. Where it was like, I don't know how to word it.
Yeah,
but
I get what you're saying.
It's like nothing changed in that gap.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see something. I mean,
right, and and I think they made that big gap in between the originals and the sequels, that 30, 40 years, whatever it is. I think they made that for a reason, and I think they kept it pretty vague for a reason.
Oh yeah,
and it's not like we're gonna get movies about it, but I'm thinking some good comics, some good. I mean, that's the new unknown regions area of Star Wars.
Yes.
It's like what happened during all that time. We have some books and comics and things like that, but
with the cloning,
that's gonna be like one of my favorite things to explore coming up.
With the midichlorians and with the cloning, I'm just speculating here.
Yep.
That them clones are, for Snoke.
Yeah,
whatever.
I definitely think they look like Snoke.
They definitely look like
episode.
Snoke. But also I could see him going in the direction of maybe Moff Gideon is trying to inject midichlorian blood cells within his own, since he is wielding
Come Force sensitive?
Yes.
That would be cool.
And with that same note, my big bad thing here, my big bold prediction. I mean, bold. I mean,
okay.
Never gonna happen.
Can I stop you before you do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Let me. You tell your prediction. I'm gonna come up with another bold prediction. Let's have one bold prediction for Mando season 2.
Okay.
And let's give it. Okay.
I mean, this is bold in all caps.
Think about mine. Mm-hmm.
Bold in all caps. Might even be the title of the episode with a question mark. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With the direction we're going, and the title of the next episode being The Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And Ahsoka's going to be in this episode, whether that be for 10 seconds at the end where she turns around or does something like that to really tease you again, or she's going to be in the episode right away.
I'm thinking that's the case, but go on.
And so am I. That's why my bold prediction's going this way.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be in the episode right away. Okay? She is going to, I think she's actually going to say stuff about Yoda. She's not obviously going to... We're never going to know the species, but she's going to say stuff about Yoda and how Force sensitive he was and kind of teach Mando what the Force is.
Right. Give him that link that he needs.
And here's my big deep cut.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see a post-Return of the Jedi CGI Luke Skywalker within Season 2 or Season 3.
Wow.
That is my bold prediction.
It's such an easy one to make, but so hard at the same time. Like, hard to fathom. It's so hard to fathom.
Because, I would rather much see a CGI Luke, and I'm being dead honest, than have them try and find a lookalike.
Yeah.
Because they did so well with Tarkin and Leia.
I know. The only thing about that is so Tarkin and Leia, you only see them for... Tarkin actually talks and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Tarkin, but it's still very brief.
Yes.
And they said the amount of work they had to do just to get that going was tremendous. I mean, crazy amounts of effort that had to be put in just for his 2-minute part in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Leia, even too, they said was just crazy hard to do for the whole 20 seconds you see her.
And that's the thing. I don't think that Luke's going to be some major role with the CGI.
No, I think we could see him, though.
I think we could see him
for a very
possibly
short period of time.
Like, we're going to see Luke's temple.
Could.
We could see Luke's temple. I'm not going to say we are. This is my Super Bowl prediction. Like, this has a 0.01% chance of happening.
Gotcha.
But I'm going to look like a genius when this maybe comes true. So we're going to see Luke's temple. And we're not going to see, like, Ben Solo or nothing. I don't think that's... We won't see that. But we're going to see...
before that, anyway.
Exactly.
Ben's, like, 5 right now. 4, maybe.
So we're going to see Luke, and it's going to be like... It's not like he's going to be old. He's going to be like... Pretty much they're going to CGI him from Return of the Jedi. They're going to add a little scruff, maybe a little gray hair here or there, maybe a little gray around the beard. Like, he's going to be, not crazy beard, but like scruff beard. you know?
Right. A little bit of visual age.
Yeah. And I think they're pretty much, I mean, maybe this could possibly be the end of the Baby Yoda time, which would be the end of Mandalorian, if we're being honest.
Yeah. I still hold true to that Baby Yoda's in it for the long haul.
I think because I think he's going to drop him off at that temple, which, sorry, gentlemen and ladies, I guess, Baby Yoda's going to die to Ben Solo.
Or he becomes Darkseid, because he did take a handful of students.
Yeah.
He probably just held out some eggs, and he's like, come on, guy. He's like, does his little sound. Okay, dude, Baby Yoda's starting to make sounds and stuff a lot more. It's killing me inside. It's killing me inside. I want one so bad. Not a Baby Yoda. I don't want a human baby. I want a Baby Yoda.
I think we're going to, I mean, this is my bold prediction. I think we're going to see the temple. I think we're going to see Luke. It's going to be literally a Mando drops in. You're not going to know what the hell's going on. You're not.
No.
He's going to drop in at this temple that you've never seen before.
Yep.
Because it's going to look crazy good. It's going to, I mean, not like Coruscant Temple, but it's going to look fancy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be like, whoa, what is this place? And it'll be like, season finale, we're just like, what the heck is going on? And I think by this time, Baby Yoda might be able to, like, say a couple words.
Yeah.
Because I think they're leaning in toward that direction. But anyway, he's going to walk him to the front door of the temple, and Luke is going to be staying there in a hood. And this part, they might have an actual guy that just has the nose down.
Yeah, could be.
So that way it's cheaper.
Right.
And, anyway, he might say some words about blah, blah, blah. Maybe he even knows Ahsoka Tano. I don't know. Anyway, he takes off his hood. He says he will be a great Jedi or whatever. And that'll be the end of the whole show. That's my bold prediction.
Yeah, okay.
Which might be, I think my bold prediction.
You're definitely, I'm not going to say
it might be a bold prediction
alone.
for the season.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone
it's
on
more
that hill,
for the end of the show, I guess. But at the same time, we could possibly see Luke.
I don't think you're alone on that hill. I really don't. I think there's people that stand with you that people think that Baby Yoda's end game is ending up with Luke and not Ahsoka. Because the big thing is everyone's like, well, Ahsoka's supposed to be looking for Ezra, and there's no way that they've found him yet, or so they're like, Ahsoka ain't going to want to take him. I could definitely see that being endgame, something of that variety anyway. But yeah, I'm thinking that's like last episode, or like one of the last episodes, like season 4 type stuff. My big bold prediction for this, it's not as bold as Al's. Don't get me wrong. I had to think of one on the spot. I have a couple bold predictions, but I want to think of the most likely one, just so I could toot my own horn when I'm right. This, while I don't want this to happen, and you're gonna be like, why not? That's so weird. But like, I don't want this to happen, but I think it's gonna. I think we learn the child's name this next episode. I'm thinking I'm thinking somehow, and shout out to my boys at Blue Harvest, another friendly Star Wars podcast out there that kind of put this into my ears a little bit. They said that they think, or they were just kind of like speculating, and they said that they could see like Ahsoka like reaching out through the Force, because obviously Baby Yoda can't communicate with physical words, like a reaching out through the Force type of thing, and she's gonna like kind of talk to him through the Force, kind of like telepathy kind of thing, and she's gonna like
kind of like
say his name, like, oh, your name is, Bob. Yeah, but
then she's gonna give him a freaking mint Oreo.
Yeah, and she's gonna cover him in peanut butter. He's gonna go, but seriously, I think we're gonna learn Baby Yoda's name. Like, maybe not this next episode. It depends on how long they do the Ahsoka thing. But sometime I'm thinking Ahsoka is gonna either name drop the child's name, or something really, really important about Baby Yoda that's going to make people go, what? Because the thing is it has been confirmed that it has a name. Like, because Bob Iger formerly of Disney, and a bunch of other people, like cast members, I don't know what cast members, but like Taika Waititi, one of the directors from last season says he was like gloating about it, saying like, "Oh, I know the child's name and stuff like that," which that could all be a bunch of baloney. But I think the kid has a name, and I think it's written in paper somewhere. But I think
I think so too.
I think the kid has a name, and I think it's gonna be a Y name. I think it's gonna be a play on the Yoda Yaddle.
I think so too.
Or something cool. Something, it might not be a Y name, I guess, but I think it'd be kind of cool if it was. But anyway. Yeah, Mandalorian, man. Awesome. I mean, it's just
awesome.
It's just the highlight of Star Wars right now. It is floating the boat. It really is. It's keeping us afloat.
Oh, it is.
And
if you're not jumping on the Mandalorian bandwagon
God.
and you're a Star Wars fan,
you don't even have to be a mega fan though. You don't. Like
you can sit down with your family and watch this, and most of the time,
even if you don't know what's going on, it's
I mean,
so
really,
enjoyable.
okay, the past couple episodes, you might have to sit down and explain 5 minutes.
But even if you don't know what's going on, the
you can still
action
enjoy
sequences and the story and everything are so good. They're so good. Anybody can enjoy it. A 5-year-old or a 50-year-old or a 100-year-old can enjoy this show. It's got something for everybody. And that's what I love about it. It's like they oversimplified it, but in the best way possible. But also keeping us on our toes. Yeah. We didn't really talk about the middle 2 episodes all that much, like episode 2 and 3 with, Frog Lady and the eggs, and those episodes are good.
Bo-Katan coming out.
Okay, yes, Bo-Katan was a big deal. I thought that was cool.
I thought that was extremely cool.
It was cool.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, my jaw was on the floor the entire time. Just because I was like, wow. I never realized how much she. I mean, she looks like.
Oh, you talking about how much that Katie Sackhoff looks like the character that she? Because I think that's the voice of her Clone Wars. I was gonna say how much she looks like the character that she voices. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, that was one where like don't get me wrong, I was excited about Bo-Katan, but I just got really confident towards leading up to that I was like, Bo-Katan's gonna be in this. I just know she's gonna be in here somewhere. So it didn't shock me as much as I thought it would, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes
I liked how they cleared up.
Not like Boba Fett did. Boba Fett shocked me. Not that I didn't see it coming after I saw the armor, but when I saw him at the end, I was like, whoa, episode 1?
Yeah.
Really?
I just like how they cleared up the air about the whole can't ever remove your helmet, and you see other Mandalorians not wearing their helmets.
Yeah, they cleared the air a little bit, but they still left a lot of I think they actually made more questions out of trying to answer than they really did close it up, though, because they said he's a child of the Watch. Well, the last time we saw the Death Watch, they had no problem taking off their helmets.
Right.
So it's like maybe they changed a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it was a different kind of. Maybe the Watch is not Death Watch. Maybe it's the Watch. Maybe it's
right. But the symbol
because
Bo-Katan
was part of Death Watch.
She was,
and she treats it like it's. She doesn't talk about the Watch like it's something she was ever involved in. She makes it sound like they're Jehovah's Witnesses or something. You know?
Right.
Like they're a bunch of weirdos.
I mean, the Death Watch symbol.
Jehovah's Witnesses listeners be like
the Death Watch symbol was on the shoulder, like the crest, the shoulder.
Yeah.
When
the guy picks him up.
Yeah, when Din Djarin gets rescued.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're the same thing, but it's kind of like how their own little party sect or whatever.
Yeah, it could.
It's called the Tribe.
It could be. It could be a
think that
just a local version of Death Watch, and they're just like, no, we don't take off our helmets, and that's all Din's ever known. So he thinks all Mandalorians do that. Where that's not how it is. I think that's the case. Yeah. I think I'm excited, man. That's about all I can say. I'm so excited. I think that kind of wraps it up. I mean, we really
that does wrap it up. I mean, we can talk more about it next week episodes, because I think next week episode is going to be, an all episoder.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm speculating we're going to have a lot to break down.
Well, it's 58 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's called The Jedi, and it's directed by Dave Filoni. I don't think it could get any better than that.
No, we are talking. If you have ED, you will not need Viagra after this episode.
If you have ED. Is that because Ahsoka Tano's going to be hot, or just because you're just going to be so excited?
Just because we're going to be so excited.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. I thought we were getting turned on by the alien tentacles. I mean, I do be, but I don't know about you.
I'm not going to say it on air, but...
Wow, I do. Yeah, Al gives me the wink. Okay, so back to the big business.
Yes.
Star Wars movies, man. We're about to rank them. Whew, are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
So here's the layout. Here's the rundown. Here's what's happening. Al, we've said this before, but Al's got his list. I've got my list. But the fun part about it is we have to combine our brains, which at this point in time, I think me and Al used to be pretty symmetrical. We argued about a few in the middle, but we were pretty easygoing. Like when we originally made our Imperial Radio list, we never shared with the public our list or whatever, but when we originally made the list, it wasn't very hard for us. I think this one's going to be challenging. I think this is going to be challenging to without giving in too much, because I don't want you to give in, and I'm not going to give in. But we have to not give in all the way. I want you to fight for what you think is fair, and I'm going to fight for what I think is fair. And I know there's going to be some disagreements. I know there is. I absolutely know there is. But we gotta. That's the fun part. We're going to figure it out, and it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to make for some good discussion. Yeah. I got to tell you, man. You're going to be shocked. You're going to be...
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen at home listening or in your vehicles, buckle up. We got ourselves...
It's time to play Family Feud.
Oh, this is going to be nuts. We might throw some punches here in the studio.
Yeah, we might be. Wow, we should have recorded this live, man. This fight breaks out. All right, so let me get my phone up here. Typed it up at... let us see. My dad just texted me and said 30% off all Lego at Black Friday. So we're going to Kohl's. We're going to Kohl's, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. I've never been Black Friday shopping, ever.
I have once.
I'm going to say not once.
And I say...
Cyber Monday, but...
I went one time. It was when the Xbox...
360... Or
what was the other one? I'm not an Xbox people. I'm sorry.
The last one was Xbox One. Before that
Xbox One.
Okay.
Xbox One. I went when the Xbox One came out. I was at Walmart. And may I remind you, I am a child at this point.
And you're also a PS3 kid at this point.
I'm a PS3
kid. PS4, but you didn't have one yet, I'm guessing.
Right. And I was just, chilling or whatever, walking around. And I had to wait in some lines for my mom, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the only reason I went. I had no money.
Right.
And she goes, yeah, go wait in line for this laptop. So I'm next to the Xboxes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waiting in line for this laptop, and I'm first in line or whatever, so it was like $50. It was crazy. Back when Black Friday was awesome.
Yeah.
We'd get a brand new laptop, $50 if you're first in line. But anyway,
for the dog times.
I'm next to these freaking Xbox, and this big African-American woman. I mean...
Is it racist to say that the big black ladies are always the ones that are like just? I don't want to be racist, but whenever it's not
a
racist.
bad topic nowadays.
I know I'm not like saying like it's a bad thing, but like whenever I see a video, it's always like a white Karen mom and a big black lady fighting over an Xbox. And usually I'm rooting for the black lady because the white mom's just being a bitch.
Oh, and that's exactly what happened.
My son needs this.
So
she's just like, no, I want this Xbox.
The rules were, in the line, this Xbox, if you were the first, I think it was 20, because, Black Friday, they just stocked up back then.
Yep.
I think it was 20. If you're the first 20 in line, you got your Xbox for, crazy cheap. What's the price of an Xbox? I don't know.
Back then, probably $400, $500.
Yeah, $400. We'll say it's $400, and the deal was I don't know, nothing crazy, but $325, something like that, $75.
Not worth killing each other.
Not worth killing each other for. And this lady, I mean, it was just 20. It didn't matter if you were 20th in line. It didn't matter if you were 15th. It didn't matter if you were first. You got that price.
Mm-hmm.
If you were 21st, you did not.
That sucks.
But anyway, there was the number one lady in line was this large African American lady, and the number two person in line was this. It was a white guy, and he was, nasty looking. Just imagine your nasty 25-year-old Xbox players.
So Xbox.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat. The guy looked like he was on meth.
Yeah.
And
he was buying an Xbox. So God, I love trashing Xbox people.
I know. But this lady was in front of him, and he like was moving around, because he had to wait in line for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
So he's like getting comfortable, and he was leaning up against something or whatever. And she just turns around because I'm not shitting you. I'm across the aisle from them in the laptop section. You guys remember how Walmart's used to be laid out?
Yeah.
She turns around and clocks this guy. She just turns around and clocks this guy.
She wanted 2 Xboxes.
and this guy goes, "What the blankety blank was that for?"
Yeah.
And she just starts going off on him about how he ain't going to steal her number 1 spot in line. She wants the deal. And he's sitting there trying to explain to her that, it didn't matter.
It's not
It didn't matter. And she keeps punching this guy. She punched him like 6 times.
I'm sorry,
and
but that's awesome.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. And I mean, I'm not saying this because it's a white or black thing.
Yeah, no.
Or because it's hilarious.
It doesn't matter about color, like when it comes to Black Friday. It
doesn't matter.
It don't matter who's it's whoever is in front of you in line. Right. That's who you're fighting.
So I'm sitting here and I'm like a 10-year-old kid.
Right.
And I'm going, what in the actual blank is going on around here?
Yeah.
Because this is my first Black Friday ever.
Like,
may I add to you? And I'm like, holy shit, this is actually as crazy
this is Black Friday?
Yeah. And anyway, she keeps punching him. The security guy comes. And he goes, what the hell's going on? And she's explaining. And then he explains to her again about what happened, about how it is. First 20 people in line get that price. And she's like, not what your ad says. And then she fucking like pushes him, and she's calling him racist and everything. And I'm going, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And then anyway, he leaves. He goes to get the store manager because this guy was just like the guy running the tech department.
Yep.
And he was like, man, it doesn't matter. Just if you want your Xbox, just be quiet.
Yeah. Just
sit here and be quiet. She's like, okay, I can do that.
I can do that.
She backed down then. She sits there.
Like,
we sat there for probably another, because I had to wait the same amount of time.
Yep.
And we sat there for probably another 2 hours, and nobody said anything. Because I'm sitting in line next to this other guy, and he's like, I don't know, probably college-age kid getting a laptop for college.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on with that? And he's like, dude, I don't know. This is my first Black Friday. And I'm like, dude, same. So we're sitting there talking. Anyway, he actually ended up being a Star Wars fan as well.
That's
Not
awesome.
like a mega fan, but we still Star Wars.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're about 20 minutes from getting our stuff.
Yeah.
She turns around at this white guy. She goes, are you fucking kidding me? And she decks him again. And he's like, what the hell did I do? And then she kicks him in the nuts. She kicks him in the... And this guy took it like a champ. I mean, he got punched, I think, at least 20 times and got a kick to the nuts. So you know what he does? He gets sick of it.
Just leaves.
He freaking decked the shit out of her. It was hilarious. God. Anyway, he got arrested. She got thrown out. He explained what happened. I think that he got off because they handcuffed him right there and the police were talking to him. Or whatever. It was great. Long story short, be gentle on Black Friday because guess what? Both of them didn't get the deal on the Xbox.
No, they didn't. That is crazy.
I mean, in hindsight, she should have gotten kicked out for what she was doing because, I mean, I'm sitting.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they both should have went left in handcuffs. I mean,
oh, absolutely. I mean, she should have left handcuffs.
Hit him versus
she just got kicked out.
Right. And I granted he hit a woman, which is not good.
It's not good. I do not condone hitting a woman.
No, but it's like.
I mean,
it's like at that
that's
point.
That's the lowest of the low. But I'm not gonna lie, that was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I started laughing my ass.
Oh,
off.
I would have too. I would have been. I can't say. I probably would have recorded a little bit of it just to like send it.
Right,
my friends.
but I didn't have a phone.
I'm not gonna like be like, yo, world star. Yeah, right. Yeah. At that time, being that age, you're just gonna watch it and just like, whoa.
I'm just like Baby Yoda watching Mandalorian kick some ass. So I'm just like, what the heck is going on here?
LOL.
But anyway,
Star Wars
movies.
Hey, that was a worthy rant, dude. That was a good. That was an original story for the fans and me. I've never heard that.
You've never heard that story, really? I mean,
no, I've never heard that one.
Anyway, long story short, I have never went back to Black Friday again because I'm afraid to get decked by a black lady.
You think people are gonna deck people for Lego AT-ATs and Lego clone battle packs?
No, I don't think so because most of them are gonna be just like like white privileged fathers, like we're in there.
Yeah. My kids want this.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the shopping list.
He's gonna have a Sephora bag with Versace and Armani in it,
and a fedora hat,
and a fedora hat, and he might be bald. He might do a Christmas light show.
Wearing
he might have his own Facebook page. I don't know. But
Jesus.
But anyway, I mean,
that's great. The kids don't know, but we know.
The kids don't know, we know. So basically, yeah, I mean, they're just gonna be the guy that goes Black Friday shopping,
right? I don't think anybody's fighting over
in a Men's Warehouse sports store.
Kohl's. I hope no one's getting in a fist fight instead of Kohl's.
That's my cardigan. Yeah. But anyway, let's get on to movies.
Yeah. So we're ranking the top 12 Star Wars movies, consisting of the 3 trilogies, Solo, Rogue One, and the Clone Wars movie. So, God, I can't get back into this the thick of things. Yeah. So here's a little preface. Obviously, I stated that we both have our own, and we're gonna try to come to.
So
a conclusion.
we are 2 people with our own individual lists.
Absolutely.
But we are one voice here at Imperial Radio.
In this, but just I want to preface, and I'm a big separation of like your favorites versus what you think are the best.
Yes,
because I'll tell you right now, my favorite movie, which you guys all know is Attack of the Clones, I'll spoil it for you, is not high on the list. That movie's not high at all on this list. It's not even close. But it's my favorite movie. But I recognize as a Star Wars fan that sometimes it sucks. In some areas it sucks. It really does. In some areas it's great. But I digress. That's just an example. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is what we think are the best movies.
Yes.
The best everything. I mean, obviously there's some favoritism, there's some bias, because what you like in the movie is what you consider to be the best. But this is what we think is the best, too, not just what the community thinks is the best. We're not going off of the community, how the community poll is, because mine doesn't look anything close to the community poll. But it's what Kobe thinks is the best, and what Al thinks is the best. That's completely what it is.
And we do stress enough about how the best doesn't mean favorite.
Exactly.
The best doesn't mean favorite. The best means everything that checks off on a list in a line.
It is. I mean, there's definitely some personal preference in there.
But there's no boom boom flashy. But that's number one.
If it was my favorite, Attack of the Clones would be number one. But it's like that's obviously not even. I'm not stupid. Like I would never do that because it's not the best movie at all. All right, you guys get it. Let's knock this out. Let's start off with an easy one. Number 12. Okay. What's your number 12, Al?
The Last Jedi.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? We're already going to fight.
I'm not kidding
We're already going to fight.
I would rather watch an animated
I know
movie.
you'd rather watch the Clone Wars movie, but the Clone Wars movie is not better than The Last Jedi.
Baloney.
It's not.
I'm
sorry,
it keeps,
it's not.
It keeps on the Star Wars path.
I thought this was going to be unanimous for the last one.
No, it will not. I think that The Last Jedi goes way off the Star Wars track compared to the Clone Wars, is radical in its way. It at least stays on the track.
Oh boy. This is.
And we get to see baby Jabba.
I was literally going to say that. I was like, they did be doing the baby ugly aliens first in the Clone Wars movie. I'll give you that. Baby Jabba. Okay. No. I'm sorry, but the Clone Wars movie, while I love the Clone Wars movie, you can pick apart that movie way harder than you can The Last Jedi. I don't think that any animated movie, we really shouldn't even have included it, honestly, because there's just no animated anything that can hold up to a live action Star Wars movie or show or whatever. I'm not trying to go like fascism on here and just impose my will on you, but you really think Last Jedi should be 12?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
That's going to be a tough one because
I have no problem putting number 11 as Clone Wars.
I do. I have a massive problem with that. I don't know how we're going to solve this, though. I didn't think this one would be that big of a... I'll be honest with you. I really don't care what goes to 11 or 12 because they're both right there. So, oh boy. This is going to be a lot harder than I thought. Yeah, I don't want you to have to give in.
No, it's fine. It's fine on this first one, but I'll hold true on some of the other ones.
We're definitely going to be... It ain't ending here, I'll tell you that.
Well, it ain't ending.
I know. So, but are we okay with putting... Just based off of the animated movie...
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's put 12 as
The
Last Jedi. No, we'll put 12 as the Clone Wars, and then we'll put 11 as the Last Jedi. Look at that. We knocked out 2 in one go.
I still have a problem.
Oh, you're joking.
I still have a problem.
What's number 11 on your list?
Okay, so Clone Wars movie was last.
Okay.
Rise of Skywalker was 11.
Okay, I mean, mine's number 10.
So
we're so close, but we're so far apart.
I know. We're not. You have no idea how far apart we are on The Last Jedi. So, my thing is like, okay, so I just a little background information. I recently just made a massive purchase and bought 5 UCS Lego Star Wars sets. And if you have never seen a UCS Lego Star Wars set, they're massive. And I bought them all. The guy threw them all in one giant tub. So that's like 30,000 pieces of Lego that I have to sort through and assign to each set so I can build it. I'm not even done with one yet, and it's like the smallest one. It's the Sandcrawler. And anyway, regardless of that, I've been watching all the movies. I've watched every single one except for Revenge of the Sith so far. I've watched them all. I watched them all kind of within like 3 or 4 days. I watched them all. Now, except for Solo and Rogue One. I didn't watch Solo and Rogue One. But everyone besides Revenge of the Sith so far I've watched while in the same mindset of building my sets. It really morphed. I never realized how much my opinion morphed after I watched them all. I didn't watch them in like order. I actually started with the sequels, and then the originals, and then the prequels. Actually, I did kind of watch them a little weird. I watched Phantom Menace, but then I went back to the originals. Then I did Attack of the Clones. But my opinions changed so much. And when I watched The Rise of Skywalker, I thought back to 2017, December 2017. When we left The Last Jedi, you remember what I was like. I remember what you were like. We're like, okay, there was parts I liked, there's parts I hated, and I've never hated anything in a Star Wars movie before, not like that. And I don't get me wrong, The Last Jedi had so many flaws, but The Rise of Skywalker. Remember when we left the theater for Rise of Skywalker and we're like, oh, this is easily my favorite sequel. This is a top 5 Star Wars movie. I'm completely ass backwards on it now. I would say that's my least favorite Star Wars movie besides obviously the Clone Wars. And the Clone Wars movie isn't even my least favorite. I would say The Rise of Skywalker is my least favorite, and I consider it to be the worst of the main movies, not counting. I really do. Like I think that movie. I'm not gonna say it sucked.
I'll speak for everyone
on the
this.
scale of saying it sucks. There's it's awesome. There's great, good, okay, bad, and sucks. I put it in between bad and okay. There's parts of it that are okay, but I would say it's overall a bad movie. I think it's a bad movie.
See, now here's as I said at the beginning of the episode, I hate to say that it, we're prequel babies.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But, I hate saying it because, I always said I was sick of all the fighting, but the sequel sucked.
Yeah. No, I
agree.
The sequel
sucked.
I totally agree, dude. Totally
and it's
agree.
Not because, the content wasn't bad.
No, it's just...
It was the direction.
The execution of a lot of it.
It was the execution. It was just the simple little things.
No sequel Star Wars movie sucked on its own. It was just there was so many parts in every movie that sucked. They sucked.
No.
It sucked.
It was either they tried to recycle something,
exactly.
They tried to create something new that didn't need to happen. They did useless missions like going to fucking a gambling place.
Yeah.
It's like
dumb. I agree. That's dumb.
It's
killing off Snoke. Stupid. I hated that part. Hated it. That was the main thing I took away from Last Jedi. Rise of Skywalker, though, was just...
See, now, I think The Rise of Skywalker could have been done... you didn't need to bring Palpatine back.
No, that's probably my biggest thing. I hate that now. I do not like that. That is really one of my biggest things about the sequel trilogy is what a waste to bring back a character. And I never honestly really liked the Rey as a complete Mary Sue argument. She definitely got beefed up more than she deserved, but I never liked she's a total Mary Sue. That movie makes her look like the biggest, just, like, you don't deserve that power. You don't deserve to kill the greatest Sith Lord of all time. That pissed me off. I am all the Sith. And then she just X's her lights. So you're telling me that Mace Windu could have... he did. He blocked Palpatine's lightning. But you're telling me he could have just... with his lightsabers and just killed him? You know?
I agree.
What a just foul stain. What a just shit stain on Ian McDermott's character.
Yeah. I
hate that part.
I would much rather have...
I liked it after the movie. Hate it now.
I would much rather have seen, and I said this literally that episode after that we done it, after we had it stir in our bellies for a little bit. I would have much rather seen why do we have to do redemptions on every bad guy?
Yeah.
Every main bad guy has to have a redemption.
And that's one of the few things about the movie I liked was it was really forced, but it was kind of my own fan service. I liked the redemption arc just because I'm a sucker for Jedi, where you're a Sith, so you didn't want to see that. You put Snoke in Palpatine's shoes there, though, where it's Rey and Ben fighting Snoke in Episode 9. You don't kill him off in Episode 8. That movie goes from being bad to okay for me. The Palpatine thing was
if Ben
stupid.
would have went good in Episode 7, Episode 8,
yeah,
I probably wouldn't have cared.
Or even just the same thing. He shows up. He shows up to save the day against Snoke, but you make Snoke mega. I wouldn't have cared if they would have made Snoke and put him in a position where he's basically just as or more powerful than Palpatine.
Oh yeah, I would have been fine with that.
Awesome. As the movies progress, people are going to get more powerful.
See, right away when they came out with this, with The Force Awakens, and we were still in high school at the time, and everybody's, who is Snoke? We need to know more about Snoke.
Part about the sequels.
Who's Snoke?
And they
just wrecked it.
They did. I know.
Wrecked it.
They
just
hate
ruined
that part
it.
about The Last Jedi.
It's like Snoke should have been Snoke. Palpatine's dead.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any damn sense. And at the same time, it's
I know.
if you're gonna kill him off, why not have Kylo Ren go big bad? He's fully a part of the dark side now.
Right.
He's the supreme leader now. He is the big bad.
Yeah.
Make him. He is a Skywalker.
Exactly.
Make him a frickin' just as powerful as Palpatine. I'd be fine with that because really he's Vader
Skywalker
without
blood.
the suit.
Exactly. I know, and trust me, dude.
So that's what I really. I'll be honest with you. If we're gonna keep ranking these, because I don't care which way these sequels end up. I really don't, because they're just as a whole. Just okay. They're just not. They're Star Wars, but they're just not our Star Wars.
Okay. I want you to tell me honestly, with your argument. Obviously, I'm guessing it right now. It's probably between Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi. I'm thinking if we were to pick one.
I'm gonna put
11.
I'm gonna put Rise of Skywalker for 11 and Last Jedi for 10, because the Rise of Skywalker is just your mom came in and she handed you a bowl of cereal in the morning, right? And you're like, oh, awesome, I got a bowl of cereal. Well, that's not regular milk in it. That's like her rotten breast milk from your 24-month-old brother who, quit breastfeeding a long time ago because he's 24 months old.
Good Lord.
But she unthawed it and put it in the milk for you.
And I like that analogy because while you do have to get past the shitty milk, there's some cereal in there.
There's some cereal in there.
There's a couple charms in there.
Exactly.
A couple Luckies, couple charms,
But not The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, for me, there's a few more charms.
There's a few more charms.
Are the marshmallows the Luckies or the charms?
I don't know.
Or is that not a thing?
I
always associated one or the other with anyway.
Because
The Last Jedi has a few more marshmallows for me.
I just like it because you get to see Luke with a lightsaber again. You get to see.
I love that. I actually enjoy that part. Now I wish it was really Luke.
Yeah, there's things I would have done differently.
Absolutely, but that's, dude, the biggest thing that's changed with my opinion on this is The Last Jedi. That's probably the biggest kicker. Really, stuff has moved, but not as much as The Last Jedi for me. Okay, so I have a feeling that there's no way we're getting past 10 with The Last Jedi being the worst, the 10th worst. What do you have? Okay, obviously your list is going to be all sorts.
My list is all
messed up now, but so we have Clone Wars and then Rise of Skywalker, which is exactly how my list went. Jesus, kind of like I'm a Nazi over here. So, what was your so you had it Last Jedi and then what?
Clone Wars.
Then Clone Wars movie and then
Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, so mine is Clone Wars movie, Rise of Skywalker, Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones is number 2.
Number 10. Yeah, number 10.
Yeah.
10th worst. Yeah. I know. I'm okay with being malleable on that one. I'm okay with changing my position up a little bit. But I got to be honest with you. Last Jedi isn't even next. It's not even after that.
No.
I know.
No.
I know. We're starting. I told you my opinion on Last Jedi has changed so much. So you had sorry. Repeat again. You had Last Jedi, Clone Wars, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Number 10's got to be Last Jedi. I'm sorry.
Is The Last Jedi worse than Force Awakens though?
Yeah.
Okay. See now
I hate
that's not something I can really argue because there's
I
think I'm in the minority saying that Last Jedi, unless you are a Last Jedi fan yourself, which I'm still not a fan. I'm not saying I have that movie high, but I don't have it, I don't have it low.
The Rise or the Force Awakens was recycled dog shit.
It was. But the thing I want to preface before you say this is that remember how everyone's argument for The Force Awakens now is that, okay, it didn't turn, in the grand scheme of things, after all three movies come together as one, it didn't turn out as good, but it was what it could have been. It was what made us think was coming. And it's like, okay, it was the potential of the movie. It's like, okay, the potential's already here, and the potential was wasted. So what's good about The Force Awakens anymore? There's some good parts. Don't get me wrong.
There's
some
good
great parts of Force Awakens.
You got Han Solo coming back. You got to see, Kylo Ren as Kylo Ren. He wasn't Ben for more than 10 seconds that movie.
Right. The thing for me about Force Awakens versus Force Awakens had some cool stuff, but I think that was the most recycled movie.
Oh, it was recycled as
For me, The Last Jedi was the most...
I'm telling you, right, everybody that was on that bandwagon of The Force Awakens was so good, possibly one of the greatest Star Wars movies ever when you left the theaters.
No.
I was never on that bandwagon.
No,
literally, when
either.
I left that, I was like, this is A New Hope, and...
No, you literally said that. You said that was recycled, A New Hope recycled. And I was like, you're not wrong. I was like, why? Because of the Death Star Part 3? And you're like, no, everything. Everything about it. The whole thing. And you started like laying it out to me, and I'm like, no, you're right. And I've always been so like, The Force Awakens for me is like the Force Awakens for me is like the redheaded stepchild, man, or not the red. It's like the middle child is a better analogy. I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite. You know what I mean?
I just honestly, if I'm gonna sit down and just rewatch a sequel movie,
which one you watching?
I'm watching the Force Awakens.
See, I'm watching Last Jedi.
So
I still hate the Snoke thing just as much as I did when I left the theater. But there's so many parts of that movie. My favorite parts of the movie come from the sequels. Come from that movie. Everything with Luke and Rey is not bad. When they fight and Rey beats him, that's pretty freaking stupid. That's dumb.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
That was dumb. That was dumb. Don't get me wrong. But everything, him talking about the Jedi and how they failed, and he's explaining to Rey about the past Jedi, and it shows what happened with him and when Ben burning down his freaking temple, and you get to see. Okay, Canto Bight sucked.
Stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Anything that wasn't...
Literally would rather watch the droid arc on Clone Wars than watch that part.
Yeah.
And I hate that arc.
I know. I got you. Sunny Day in the Void type stuff. I got you. But the thing is to me, you cannot tell me that the last... Okay, besides besides Snoke getting killed prematurely, you kind of take that out of the picture. The last 30 minutes of that film is good.
Yes, the whole fight thing.
The fighting,
there's about 10 seconds of it where you find out Luke's not there. Is stupid.
The stuff on Crate.
But
is it really that bad though?
Okay, I'm saying this right now. If Luke was actually there, and if Finn actually
died,
I
agree with that.
I'm telling you right now, and I'm not sugarcoating it. We're talking top 5.
Yeah, I agree with that. And if Snoke would have died, if Snoke would have, or at least it would have been better than that.
Yeah.
Somehow, and yeah, I agree. There's my opinions on what's bad haven't really changed about it. I still hate a lot of things about it, but I've grown to love so many parts of it. I love I love when Luke shows up. I love it, dude.
Oh, I love it.
I don't like that it's not actually Luke. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather it have been Luke, which would have been kind of weird because they would have had Kylo Ren kill Luke Skywalker. Like that wouldn't make any sense. I think they did the best that they could with bringing Luke in at the end. I think that's the best possible thing that could have happened. Because if I would have liked to see Luke actually show up and really fight, but one of those two doesn't make it out alive.
Yeah, and
it can't be Kylo Ren. You can't have Kylo Ren kill Luke, unless he does a sacrifice thing. But then people would just scream, "Oh, that's what Obi-Wan Kenobi did." I don't know. Whatever. It's a tough subject, but I'm okay with putting I'm okay with putting Last Jedi 10. I guess I am because. We're never going to come down to where I have it. I have it at 6.
6.
Yeah. I do.
Big oof.
I do.
See, it's not even breaking the ice.
See, you have it last. I have it 6.
See, when I said top 5, I was meaning 5.
Oh, yeah. No, I would never put it any higher. Even with everything you said that changed, I could never put it any higher than that.
And even with all that, even with all the bad stuff, it might be at your 6.
Yeah. No, I
just can't get past that. That is the one movie I am 100% honest. I will watch it, but I'm not just gonna get home and go, I'm gonna watch Last Jedi.
That movie is like the NFL game you don't want to watch, but you'll watch the highlights of it because there's some good highlights, but the rest of the game sucks.
Yeah,
it's the Dolphins versus the Rams game. It's like, oh, that was a long touchdown throw. No, there's a bunch of fumbles. That's what it is. I mean, to me that's what it is. And I just love the long touchdowns, man. I do. Okay. So now, oh god, our things are going to be so messed up. So obviously now you know that what was 10 on mine was Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
What and 10 on yours was Rise of Skywalker, but we already have Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, and Clone Wars movie. Oh. So here, I'll just give you my little rundown here. I went Clone Wars movie last, then Rise of Skywalker, Attack of the Clones, then Force Awakens, then Solo, then Last Jedi. Those are my bottom 6.
Okay.
My top 6 are going to be fairly similar to what yours are. I think it was more my bottom 6 that really were my middle ones that really are going to stand out. So what do you have at 4? At fourth to last, excuse me.
Fourth to last.
Yeah. So
like 8?
9th.
9th.
Yep.
I have Force Awakens.
So yours would go Last Jedi, Clone Wars, Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens?
Yep.
Okay. So I think the question here is to decide between I have Force Awakens at I have my Force Awakens at where it would be at on here. I have it at 9. I have Attack of the Clones at 10.
See, and my Attack of the Clones is at 8.
Okay. So right in there. Gotcha. So I guess the real question is what do you think is worse between? Let's do 3 of them: Attack of the Clones, Force Awakens, and Solo. Because I have Solo at would be my 8.
Solo's at your 8.
Yep.
Okay.
It would go. Attack of the Clones would be 10 for me on mine, and then Force Awakens, and then Solo. So so for 9, would you think it should be Force Awakens, Attack of the Clones, or Solo?
Force Awakens.
And I'm not opposed to that. I'm really not.
See, I think.
Do you think that Force Awakens or Attack of... I think Solo is...
Here's the thing. I think that in the scheme of things of how we lay things out and what this does for the story, that's kind of how I rank it.
Yeah.
What does this do for the story? How was the actual direction of the movie? Did it do justice for the story? Did it actually make sense? Was it a all-around good movie with not too many terrible parts?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I judge things. Now, I also judge that on originality. And The Force Awakens...
Very unoriginal. I agree.
You didn't have to step... I mean, I could have freaking written that movie.
Mm-hmm. I know.
If someone was like, I want you to make The New Hope, but make it so
modern.
it's modern and it has, like gender appeal and all this in it and all that. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So my thing with that is I agree with that totally. I don't disagree with anything, any critique or anything you have with Force Awakens.
So basically what I'm getting down to is with where you have Attack of the Clones, I think that Attack of the Clones does more justice for the actual storyline than...
Yeah, it does.
But the thing is,
with
it's
that.
just such a hard... Because we're comparing, 19 BBY?
Yeah.
19
No,
BB,
well, 21.
21 BBY.
Yep.
To...
Or 22 BBY, but same, whatever.
Before Battle... I mean,
Yep.
we're
right.
in BBY.
We're talking prequel era.
Whereas we're...
Clone Wars.
Yeah. I mean, we're in prequels, now we're comparing it to sequels. Whereas the story of the prequels was to say what was going on in the originals.
Right, the prequels had a roadmap. The sequels did not. They were whatever they wanted to be. My thing is with that is, like, you say that the prequels, the Attack of the Clones did more for the story. And that is one of the things it has over The Force Awakens. I agree with that. But also, just as a take away lore for a second, just like your basic physical characteristics of the movie. Dialogue, plot. The plot, I think it's pretty wishy-washy. Neither way,
That's just kind of a flip of a coin.
you could,
for both
yeah,
of them,
exactly.
really.
You could go either way with which one has better plot because
really
there really isn't much
both
of a
of their
plot in
plots
Attack of
is
the Clones either. There really isn't. That Attack of the Clones is a filler movie.
Oh,
it kind of is. It's a filler movie.
it is a filler movie.
And
there's about 45 minutes of this is what's going to happen.
Of love scene and stuff like that. That it didn't do anything for the story. Whereas Force Awakens, kind of the same thing. It does a lot for the sequel's story, kind of. But at the same time, it's also a rehash of A New Hope. So I think you throw that one at the window. Dialogue, okay, Force Awakens dialogue is better. Acting in Force Awakens,
there's
way
a lot
better.
of cringy stuff in both.
There is, but you gotta admit, the dialogue in Attack of the Clones is probably the worst in any Star Wars movie.
Yes, it is known as probably the most cringiest.
It's coarse, it's rough, it gets everywhere.
But the whole, okay,
not like
who
you.
talks first?
I'd much rather dream about Padme.
You talk first, I talk first.
Yeah, okay, that was bad, but it wasn't cringy. It was just like, okay, it was cringy on a different level.
And also the whole thumbs up with the lighter. That I hate that.
Yeah, right.
I hate BB-8. I hate BB-8.
Yeah, I know you do. But
why do we not have? I mean, I honestly think they should just forgot all about BB-8 and just had R2 and C-3PO still doing their own thing.
Yeah, I think it'd have been cooler that way. I agree, but
it would have hit home better.
My thing is like, as a movie, I think The Force Awakens is a better movie. Like, just overall, like, plot, characters. Okay, maybe not characters.
Definitely not characters.
Plot, dialogue, just the overall
dialogue,
the stuff that has nothing to do with Star Wars, just as a movie. Like what you would compare, like, if you're going to compare...
Oh, you get so lost if you don't watch Star Wars, watching Attack of the Clones, so...
Yeah,
I'm okay with putting Attack of the Clones at 9.
Okay, and then Force
Awakens.
Yeah, and like it's so weird for me considering that's my favorite movie, and I'm literally sitting here bashing it and trying to say that a movie I don't really like is better than it, but it just is. You have to give.
Well, there's favorites in that movie, and why that gets.
Oh yeah,
as much as we say we did not base it on
Right.
favorites, there is a little bit of favoritism that we can throw in that. So, anyway, he's writing it down on the board.
Yeah, sorry for the awkward silence there. So then we're going Force Awakens next, right?
Yeah, 8 is Force Awakens.
I agree. But I just want to throw this out there. Is Solo's better than Force Awakens?
Yeah.
I think The Force Awakens is still a better movie than Solo, but I think Solo is just so much more enjoyable and that's maybe an opinion thing, but
Solo's more enjoyable. People that don't think Solo's good,
I think Solo is a better movie.
It's literally better than all the sequels. We wrote it down.
I think so. That might be that might be a little more of our most opinionated thing.
Yeah.
'Cause I think we'd definitely be kind of alone on that hill. Because a lot of people have Solo, like, I mean, like, a lot of people's list goes like Attack of the Clones, then Solo. I mean, isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. Force Awakens and Solo. Okay.
Now we're on number 6.
Yeah. So my number 6 would have been Last Jedi. That's not even, I'm actually happy that we got Last Jedi out of the bottom 2. That makes me feel like, obviously I would have it at 6, but I knew it was never going to get there.
No.
I knew it was never going to get to 6. I know that. I'm just glad that I convinced you enough to get it not as last or second to last.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you agree that Rise of Skywalker is a worse movie. It is. It's terrible. Well, okay. I don't want to say anything Star Wars is terrible, but it's
no.
It's
The more you
it's
talk,
a bad movie.
See, the more you talk about it, the more I get so pissed of how they did that.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. It really does. But okay.
So my number 6 would be The Phantom Menace.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Phantom Menace is so. Okay, I lied here a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah, you're number 7, but you're 6 down.
Yes.
Well, I'm messed up, dude. Did I forget one? Clone Wars, Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, Attack of the Clones, Force Awakens, Solo. Oh, yeah, because we already did last. God, I'm such an idiot. Forgot we. Okay. So you had Phantom Menace at your 6th spot.
Yes.
My 6th spot was Rogue One.
That's my 5 spot.
See, now Rogue One at a time. There was a time where we had like Rogue One at like our 4.
Yeah.
I still love that movie. It's just
it does so much service to New Hope.
It's just kind of like. It's just kind of faded a little bit on me. I don't love it or hate it any more than I did before, but it's just kind of like I kind of stepped down from it a little bit. Like I'm like, it's still good, but I'm back up from a little bit. Get off my soapbox a little bit here. So it's I'm thinking it's between Rogue One or the Phantom Menace. I have Phantom Menace 1 spot higher than Rogue One.
See, I'm just flipped from you.
Right.
So I love Phantom Menace. I do too. The way I think of it, Rogue One, I thought was very, 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 very good for the story of New Hope, and just makes New Hope that much better.
Rogue One's awesome.
Like you don't appreciate New Hope when you're a kid, but God, I love New Hope.
And I think this is the part where it gets to be kind of hard because we kind of got our least favorite movies, or not our least favorite, but the ones we don't think are as good out of the way. Now it's all the good movies.
Yeah,
it's just deciding between movies we love.
I mean, if you remember
that's the hard part for me and you.
What did we call that? Kind of like our hot takes or whatever.
Yeah.
I had Phantom Menace. I had Phantom Menace as one of the most.
Yeah, we basically had the same take that.
Phantom Menace is one of the most influential to the story movies.
Because we combined our takes where I said Phantom Menace is probably a top 5, top 6 movie.
Yeah.
And that's right where I had it, top 5.
See, now I'm fine with putting Phantom Menace at 5, but I thought that because I knew this is when you said that we were going to combine them, so I put it at 6, because I thought there's no way, no how that it was going to be number 5 for you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if we're talking about actually as a whole movie, everything with it, I'm putting Phantom Menace at 5. I got no problem with that.
I agree with that. Again, we kind of run into that same issue. Is Rogue One probably a better paced, better dialogue, just a better like movie? Yeah. I think it's a better.
But is it a better Star Wars?
Is it a better
movie?
film? Yes. Is it a better Star Wars film? No. I don't think so.
No. So I'm perfectly fine putting 6.
Actually, probably still it probably does more for the Star Wars universe than the Phantom Menace. But the Phantom Menace is just it's good. It's one of those ones for me that back when there was only 6 Star Wars movies, it was my least favorite.
See, and I love that one.
If there was only 6 movies, it'd probably be like if we never got our sequels and our spin-offs and stuff. If it was back in 2013 when we were talking about this, I would say I would go like probably favorites wise. I'd probably go. Jeez, I don't even know. That's probably a discussion for a whole nother time. I was gonna say, dude, because like it might be like Empire. Like I don't even know, man. Just because I never really just gelled with Empire that much as a kid. I really didn't. But I still love the movie. I love every Star Wars movie. It's Star Wars, but so you're okay with putting Rogue One then, Phantom Menace?
Yep.
I'm thinking we're gonna get a little more cohesive after this.
Oh, I think so. I think we should be able to run a pretty good course here now. I might have one that might throw a bone in though.
Really?
But we might be on the same page with it.
So we're down to the top 4, which I wrote in big letters. All right. Without further ado, because we'll have the same combination of top 4. I didn't even think about that. So obviously, what's left is Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, basically Revenge of the Sith and the three originals. That's actually really interesting that we have the same top 4. I think it is. I'm actually kind of surprised. I didn't think necessarily we would.
I mean, I think if you don't have these in your top 4, depending on your order, it doesn't matter. But it doesn't really matter top 4 order. But
no,
I think if you don't have these in your top 4, then you're either a 10-year-old or you can't comprehend Star Wars.
Yeah. You want to know a fun fact?
Okay.
I think there's 2 outcomes for, like, between us. I think they're either going to be the same, or the next 2 are going to be flipped. 3 and 4 are going to be flip-flopped. I think they're going to be the same.
Okay.
Well, God, I don't know. 3 and 4 might be flip-flopped, just because I'm a little different.
Okay.
A little different to. I think they might be because we're talking best, not favorites. So I think they might be the same. I think they might. I don't know. I'm torn, but they're going to be close. I know the top 2. I know what they are, but and I know what order that you have them in. I know what order I have them in, but okay. Number 4, what do you got?
Revenge of the Sith. I'm just kidding.
I was like...
You should have seen his face. It was great. No, my number 4 is A New Hope.
Okay, so I was half right. We haven't flipped. My number 4 is Return of the Jedi.
Really?
Yep. I like Return of the Jedi more than A New Hope. I don't think it's a better movie, though. Actually, what impacted my decision on this, I watched the Star Wars documentary on Disney Plus where they like go over the original trilogy, and just seeing what George did to start Star Wars off with A New Hope just made me just love that movie so much and just appreciate how damn good that movie is. That movie is good.
Oh, it's great.
The movie is so good. I just couldn't put it behind Return of the Jedi, which a lot of people think is the weakest original. And I think it is the weakest original. Still love it though. Probably my favorite original.
Yeah.
It's probably the weakest though. God, I'm really good at liking the bad ones, aren't I?
Yeah.
I guess I am. And not that it's bad, but so we're gonna have to come to a conclusion though. So you give me, why do you think that A New Hope should be 4 instead of, because obviously it was between that or Return of the Jedi.
I think it is just basically because of how it's just they're just starting out, so they didn't know what direction they were really going for. They sort of ended it, but they made it so that way they could have a sequel if it did good.
It works still.
But at the same time, Return of the Jedi, if you really think about it, it is a little off. But I just liked how they summarized it up.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Could have ended right there. Could have ended
the last and people get on the Ewoks and the what's another thing they always pick apart with? The Jabba scene's cool, but I would rather see the Jabba's palace and all that's cool, but I'd rather see. I mean, that is like a whole hour of the film, pretty much, that are close to it that has nothing to do with the story. But I don't have a problem with that. I think that was awesome.
I thought that it was.
You get to see Luke be a Jedi. You know?
I mean, I think it served a purpose of how, why Han Solo was so scared of Jabba and why he was running the whole time. It served its own purpose. It really did. Did it go towards the greater of the story? No.
No, it did nothing for the story.
It did absolutely nothing.
You could have cut that whole thing out and it wouldn't have impacted the story.
No. But I think
it mattered.
It mattered because it showed why Han was so afraid of.
Right.
And he was trying to pay off Jabba so much.
I got to get out of here. I got to pay off this debt. And everyone's like, oh, you're just trying to get out. And he's like, no, I have a bounty on my head in every system. I need to get out of here and pay this debt because this guy don't mess around. And that's what he didn't mess around. He's lucky he didn't get killed.
Yeah.
But, okay, so that's, okay. My argument for putting, so basically we're arguing for which one we think is number 3, essentially. I just think that A New Hope, there's just something you can't, A New Hope has this vibe to me. Everything has a vibe to me. A New Hope has this vibe that no Star Wars movie can replace, or no Star Wars movie can imitate that vibe to me. Just like every Revenge of the Sith has a vibe to me that no one can imitate. Yeah. There's just something about A New Hope being the first one. You watch it, you get introduced to these characters, and I mean, can you imagine in 1977, before May, no one, if you'd have said Luke Skywalker, it'd be like Darth Vader, they'd be like, who? Yeah. Can you imagine a time when we didn't have Star Wars? Like, no. There's just something about that to me. It's so fascinating. And I know that has nothing to do with the movie, so it's not really fair, but like, the movie kind of portrays that to me. Like, it's like, this is new, and they throw everything at you, and they throw so much information at you. Jedi's. You think about how much information gets thrown at you, but you understand it. You get it right away.
I'm not going to lie. You talked me into this one. New Hope should be 3, just because of how much
the iconicness,
and not only that.
How well
if you really think about it, how much it opened everything up. You talk about a teaser of a show or an episode or a movie.
Yes,
that teased everything. They mentioned Clone Wars.
Yes,
they mention,
anything that is Star Wars related. It's somewhere another family tree timeline thing gets basically its start in A New Hope somehow.
Exactly. I mean, except for they don't mention midichlorians at all in the original trilogy.
Right, but the Force, the Force comes from, everything comes from the New Hope. The Force comes from A New Hope. So midichlorians come from the Force, which comes from New Hope.
Exactly.
Because it was like you said, there was a time when this movie might have been one of one.
Exactly.
So everything came from, that was like it was the original ancestor movie that brought everything together. And then Empire and Return of the Jedi, in my opinion, just strengthened it. But there is just something about A New Hope. It's like the respect your elders type of thing, where you have to put respect on his name. You just have to. And
let's do it.
And it's not even a bad movie. So
let's put it at 3.
I agree. Yep. Yeah. So Return of the Jedi, number 4. Return of the Jedi, A New Hope. All right. So I think this is obvious. I think the final 2 are obvious. It's up to Empire Strikes Back and Revenge of the Sith. Probably not obvious to all listeners if you don't really know us well. You'd probably think what we're going to do, but I don't think this isn't going to go the way you think it will go. So, number 2. What is it? What's your number 2?
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, mine's the Christmas special.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine's Empire Strikes Back, dude.
That's one of those ones, kind of like A New Hope. You have to respect it because they say it's the best of the original trilogy. You have to respect that. Is it the best of the original trilogy, though? Is it really? Now we'll put in our 2 cents of personal opinion. I think The New Hope's the best. For actual story-wise, if we're talking action-wise, Return of the Jedi, no doubt. But if we're talking all-around, good action, good story, is crazy, has some crazy surprises. I just think that it's just so crazy because of, no, I'm your father. That's just That's its own.
I mean,
that is the most famous movie quote of all time. If you think, that is the most quoted movie quote of all time. It's been quoted throughout several movies that have no purpose to Star Wars. They have no connection. It's been done in children's shows. It's been done in sitcoms. It's been done in everything.
It's surpassed Star Wars to the point where it is a pop culture. I mean, it's like one of the 10 Commandments in pop culture. Is no, Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah.
Well, pop culture, it's Luke, I'm your father, but
right, but it's actually no, I'm your father.
Right. My thing, agreeing with you in a way. I think so obviously, Star Wars is not as old as it seems to be. I mean, it came out. It was almost the 80s when it came out, and we're only in 2020. I mean, it's only been 43 years.
Yep.
So my thing, going on 44, whatever. My thing is what if you double the time from now and go 80 years, so 40 years, 2060. So it's been 83 years since Star Wars came out. If hopefully people are still talking about Star Wars, but say Star Wars, Disney keeps it going, and in 2060 when we're 60, 70 years old, we'll be 60. But say we're 60 years old, and we're the old people that grew up with Star Wars, and the kids are the ones that are getting into, Star Wars Episode 15, the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is Empire still going to be a consensus top movie? Is it still going to be because right now it is the consensus number one. I will never deny it that. It is the community, if you polled every Star Wars fan in existence, Empire is going to lead, and by not a large margin, but it's going to be upwards of 50%. We'll say it's the best movie, and probably their favorite too. Is it going to be like that 40 more years from now, when all the people that originally saw Star Wars will probably be dead or close to it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. I think
that our number one will be. Honestly.
I think it will. I think it could be Revenge of the Sith. Hell, it could be a prequel. Who knows? Because we were once the kids that had to just sit there and defend the prequels to death and say that they're not that bad when everybody hated on them. That's what kids are going to have to 10 years from now, when these 8-year-olds grow up and they're our age that we are kind of right now, or these 10-year-olds that are watching their first movies were the sequels. They're going to have to try to defend the sequels. They're going to go, hey, the sequels are good. It's going to turn into the same thing. We're the old heads now.
I know.
And we're trashing the sequel kids. It's just something to think about. I think Empire Strikes Back is number 2. Does it deserve number 1? Yeah, but not in my headspace.
No.
As best movie. You just
people. Okay, here's the thing. People that don't think that Revenge of the Sith isn't number 1, you're still holding on.
Let go.
Yeah. It's you gotta think of it as a movie. It is crazy. It's got action.
It's got everything.
Great dialogue. It's got transition.
Believable love story. It's believable in that movie. The dialogue took leaps and bounds better. There's still some cringy lines. Okay, don't get me wrong. The no is not good. I mean, that's bad. Yeah, that's a bad line. And some of the I have brought peace. Some of that's a little, okay, whatever. The dialogue is still not as strong as some other movies. But that's probably the only thing you can take away from Revenge of the Sith. Whereas Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace, you can take away quite a few things. You can say this was not very good. This was not well executed.
Yeah.
Damn near everything in Revenge of the Sith is perfectly executed, besides a few bits of dialogue, and then
but nothing major.
No, I mean
nothing major.
It's
every piece of dialogue that is important is almost 100% to a T. I don't know how you could do it any different.
I know.
I mean, it's beautiful.
And some of the bad dialogue, even I'm you got to remember that most of it comes from Anakin, bad dialogue, cringy dialogue, but he's also he's basically still a kid. Yeah. I mean, he says stupid. Okay, the Darth Vader no thing. I do not like that.
That's the thing. People don't like that because they're like, Darth Vader won't say that. But also, when people that know Darth Vader is the old people.
Yeah.
That know Darth Vader as being fully consumed by the dark side. He has nothing. He doesn't have Padme. This is him literally just finding out he doesn't have Padme, and he is. If you don't really see the bond, just from the two movies, you got to watch the Clone Wars. I mean, you got to see that bond.
Right, you got to see, and the Clone Wars strengthens everything. I mean,
the Clone Wars is the foundation to Revenge of the Sith.
The Clone Wars has become like the foundation to Star Wars in a way.
Yeah,
it impacts everything. Clone Wars, and I would even throw Rebels in there and kind of mash them into one. It impacts everything because it strengthens things you can't show in a 2-hour movie. And does Empire deserve number one? Like I said, it is fully deserving of being the best Star Wars movie. It's one of those cases where it's like Empire's awesome, but Revenge of the Sith is just right there for us, for our personal opinion of what we think is the best movie. You cannot tell me there's anything even close to the Order 66, like the Order 66 scene, the emotion you feel there.
Yeah.
You can't tell me there's anything even close to that in Empire besides anything like some of the stuff between like, okay, people like, well, you don't know what it was like in the theater when everyone thought Han died and we were all crying, and that's one guy. I get it's a main character, but that's one guy compared to massive amounts of people dying, kids getting slaughtered, this entire Jedi temple wasted with bodies, characters that we've come to know and love, like Anakin Skywalker getting burned alive.
Yeah.
Obviously, you knew he wasn't gonna die, but like, obviously at the time,
Mace Windu,
right? And at the
when
time,
that happened in theaters, people had been just draw on the floor going,
exactly, and like, and even at
even the turn right away when they're like, I mean, just imagine this, right? You're in theaters, you're seeing this for the first time.
Yep.
Palpatine just said he was a Sith Lord, and you're like, oh my gosh.
He's a Sith Lord.
He's a Sith Lord. They finally revealed it. We knew it was coming, obviously, because he is the Emperor. But all of a sudden, you see these Jedi walk in to arrest him, and you're like, "Oh yeah, shit is about to go down."
You're like, you never felt that in Empire. Not like that.
No.
You felt similar things, like when Luke first shows up to fight Vader. You're like, it's about to go down. But like, maybe that's just us.
It's nothing like Revenge of the
Sith.
Sith.
You never felt that.
You never felt that. Same with like
it's a vibe thing.
You do not feel the tension and the gut feeling. I remember watching Revenge of the Sith for the first time, and I mean, just even the original fans got to love it. Just how fast paced the fight was, and also the leading up to the fight, where they're just sparring with each other with vocalism.
Yep.
With Obi-Wan and Anakin or Darth Vader. You have to love that no matter
Yoda
what kind of fan
and
you are.
Palpatine, like that.
And Yoda
fight?
and Palpatine.
Okay,
when Yoda walks in and he just on the guards.
If so powerful you are. That's becoming one of my favorite quotes of all of Star Wars. If so powerful you are, why leave? That just every time I've seen that movie, probably literally 100 times, if not more. Every time he says that, shivers, goosebumps. Like it's like shit's about
because Palpatine
go down.
And Palpatine was feeling the same thing.
He's like,
he was
oh shit.
Oh,
He's
shit.
like, I can probably beat this guy, but I'm still pretty scared. I'm still pretty damn scared. This is the one guy I didn't want to show up to. He's like, I was hoping it was Kenobi.
Yeah.
He didn't know, but yeah, I know, man. I don't even know. Obviously it's our opinion for the best. We don't have to fight so hard, but like, I want people to, and a lot of kids, even like kids our age, even if they do go, okay, Empire's the best. I still think Empire's the best despite being a kid my age. But at least like kids our age can acknowledge that Revenge of the Sith is awesome.
Oh.
There's just a lot of old people, not old people, but the old heads of Star Wars out there that they can't buy it. They'll be like, yeah, it's the best prequel, but that ain't saying much. And it's like, dude, this protocol droid needs to have his mind wiped, and he needs to watch the movie fresh over once again, because a lot of people, they see the movie in theaters, and you could say the same even for like yourself. You watched The Last Jedi in theaters. You hated it. You didn't. I'm not gonna say you hated it, but you hated a lot of it, and now you forever have this opinion about it. It's hard to shake that, and first impressions are hard to make up.
Yeah, I really do wish that I could have my mind wiped.
And Last Jedi's first impression on you was a kick in the balls and a spit in your face, and now it's hard for you to get past it. Whereas like it was hard for me too, but something clicked in me one day, and I was like, you know what? The Last Jedi, while not a top tier Star Wars movie in the slightest. Not, I mean, some people The Last Jedi is like their 2 or their 3. Some people it's their 1. Some people think it's better than Empire. Those are rare. Most of the time, I see it around the anywhere from 5 to 3. It's in most people's top half, and
that blows my mind.
So is Force Awakens, and I think The Last Jedi is a better movie than Force Awakens, to be honest. I'll say it. I do. There's probably more things in The Last Jedi that I hate than in Force Awakens, but
there is more better. I mean,
but there's better, and at least the Last Jedi is the only unique movie that is really nothing like its counterpart of Episode 5. Yeah. Whereas Rise of Skywalker is literally just the same thing as Episode 6, and Force Awakens is Episode 4 rehashed. Last Jedi is the only one. I don't like what Rian Johnson did in a lot of it, but at least it was unique. I'll give it that. You have to give it. I mean, you have to give it that. Yeah, you do
have to give it that.
It's unique, and to me, it's the most enjoyable to watch. I still cringe every time Snoke dies. I still cringe at the Canto Bight scene. I hate the character of DJ or whatever that guy. I hate that guy. Like
I hate Rose too. She can.
Right, and I don't really like Rose either. I mean, I wouldn't say I hate her. She's like Jar Jar to me. It's like, do I like Jar Jar? No, but like
I'd rather watch a whole show about Jar Jar than her.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not lying either. I would rather watch a whole show about Jar Jar.
Yeah,
And it's not because I'm sexist. It's not because I don't
that's
like the actor. It's just because the writing sucked.
So many people give you like, oh, you must be sexist. Like, no, I'm not sexist because I hate a female character. I hate a lot of dude characters too. Like, it doesn't make you a sexist. Like a lot of people said, if you don't like Jar Jar, you're racist because it's played by a black guy. It's like, what? You don't? I didn't like. Most people don't even know that.
Yeah,
I know. Anyway, that's our list, man. Let's rehash. So we got Clone Wars at 12, Rise of Skywalker at 11, Last Jedi at 10. At 9, we got Attack of the Clones. 8, Force Awakens. 7 is Solo. 6 is Rogue One. 5 is The Phantom Menace. 4 is Return of the Jedi. 3 is A New Hope. 2, Empire Strikes Back. And 1, the best Star Wars movie in the hearts of Imperial Radio.
And should be everyone's.
Revenge of the Sith. Dude, we've been talking for 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah. Well, an hour 51, 52, so an hour 52. But, you know what?
It was worth it. Season 2.
This was
Episode 1. Stay tuned. Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian, Season 2. It will happen. If you made it this far, you know the thing.
If you made it this far, my social security number is...
No, but if you've made it this far, you know what to do. Drop a like. Yeah. Download it on Spotify.
And you know where to find us. You can always hit us up. Imperial Radio Podcast is our Facebook and our Instagram handle. Imperial Radio 66 is the handle on Twitter. You can go to Twitter and at Imperial Radio 66. You can email us at Imperial... Or no, wait. Dude, I forgot our Twitter. It's Imperial Radio...
Imperial Radio at P1.
Imperial Radio P1. Dude, I literally forgot the Twitter. I was talking the email that whole time. Our Twitter is... Thank you, because I about said Imperial Radio P1 is our... Thank you. Imperial Radio P1 is our... Right?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm blanking. Imperial Radio P1 is our Twitter. ImperialRadio66@gmail.com is our email.
Check us out on TikTok, too.
Oh, yeah, it's just Imperial Radio on TikTok.
Yeah.
I posted a couple things since our hiatus, 1 or 2 things. Just dumb little things that came to my head, but you know,
also, you know what? Just because we're in the swing of things.
Yeah.
Check out Jalen Larson. What's his TikTok? Jalen
Dean 11.
Jalen Dean 11. You go check that out. He's got
Dean 11.
You might have seen it. He's got a very popular Star Wars TikTok, and it involves Kobe Larson, our host of Imperial Radio.
I could probably share it to the Imperial Radio. Like I can probably stitch it or whatever they call it on TikTok, and because basically what happened is me and our buddy Jalen and a bunch of our friends were at the bar. I just recently turned 21, by the way, so I'm legal now. we went to the bar and they were playing Revenge of the Sith on one of the TVs. It's kind of like a sports bar. It's not really a sports bar, but it's got tons of TVs in there and right at the bar. And they were playing Revenge of the Sith, and he started taking this TikTok, and he screams at me. And it's the part where Anakin's going to kill Sora's Bandine and the rest of the little Jedi. And, oh, look, there's BB-8 on the commercial on TV. And then and he's like, Kobe! And I come over, and I'm like,
it is
Skywalker.
It is a rated R
TikTok. He screams kill those kids the whole time.
But
so, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious. You should check it out. You might have seen it. It is quite popular on the TikTok of Star Wars World TikTok.
It's got like almost 1 million views.
Really?
I don't know about likes. I think it's somewhere in the hundreds of thousands. But dude, it's huge now. It's got like 1 million views.
Wow.
Yeah, it got huge. Everyone commented like, that kid looks like the older version of the kid that got killed by Anakin. I was like, is that a compliment? Is that
you could play him? You could play him as a Force ghost.
Dude, I could. Oh my God, I should totally. What? That sucks. They already missed the opportunity. I could have showed up right next to like Luke and Leia shows up in the Rise of Skywalker, and like then Anakin shows up and he's like, "Good job, Rey." And then I show up and I kick him like, "Dick." That'd have been great. That'd have been awesome.
Been great.
Or they remaster Return of the Jedi, and I get George to put me in there. And I it's like all the Jedi show up now, like Mace Windu, Plo Koon, Luminara, and everybody shows up. And then there's like this kind of happens in either Robot Chicken or Family Guy Star Wars, where the younglings show up at the end of the Return of the Jedi and like, you killed us. But like I show up and Anakin's like, who's this guy? I'm like, I just like give him the double bird, dude. I was like, dude. I better get after old George before he unfortunately probably kicks the bucket. God, he's getting old.
He's getting old.
That's sad. I hope he doesn't kick it anytime soon.
Me neither.
That'd be bad. I hope
Sorry,
none of them
on
do.
a lighter note, I just looked at TV and there's a commercial. They make ranch in like a seasoning now. What is wrong with the Midwest?
Like a packet?
No. Like
I say they make ranch seasoning packets.
no, like like a Parmesan tube,
Yeah.
like the shredded Parmesan. They make that in ranch now.
Gross.
What the heck? What the heck's up with that?
Ranch is overrated, dude.
Ranch is overrated. Ketchup's overrated.
One more thing before we go. I have to say this. Did you know that like Star Wars hotel they're building?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I'm sad though.
Why?
Okay, we're still gonna go on our trip though.
Oh, we're still going on our trip. It might be pushed back.
Yeah, we won't be able to go in 2021. We'll have to go in 2022.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a reminder set in my phone for 2022 telling me remember to buy my tickets.
Yeah.
Buy our tickets for it. You know how much it costs to stay in what they're projecting it's going to cost to stay in that hotel?
Mm-mm.
Like, I've heard anywhere from $1,000 to $6,000 a night per person.
Wow.
That is speculation. I've also seen stuff that's like up like 800. I've seen stuff. It's only speculation at this point. I wonder if they can hear those.
I don't know. I've been farting the whole episode.
That one you had to have, man. But God, dude.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah, I can't wait to smell that one. But dude, that kind of bums me out a little bit because like.
Oh, I'm
we're
totally
staying there for one night.
Oh yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Okay.
We're gonna have to up our budget.
I'm not gonna lie. If it's $6,000, I'm not doing it.
Oh, I'm not.
If it's $6,000,
if it's a grand,
if it's
we
a
can do
grand,
it.
if it's a grand for one night, even per person, whatever. If you want to buy it, yours. I imagine if I do it, you'll do it. But like,
it'll be so worth it.
If we come to an agreement, we're both gonna do it. $1 grand a night. I'm doing it one night though. The other nights we're gonna have to get a different hotel. We're gonna check in and then check out right away in the morning. But like, dude, can you imagine if you miss checkout time and they charge you for another day, another
God.
grand? Yeah,
because you'd have to you have to be on the dot with that because people are gonna be packed in there.
Yeah,
when it first comes out.
And maybe we. Damn, dude. Because the thing is about Disney hotels is they can like price gouge their hotel prices at any time because like. They're always able to fill rooms. They're not always like super busy, like backed up, but they can always fill a room at least last second. Whereas most hotels have trouble filling rooms. That's why you get discounted prices a lot. But it's kind of like when like, say you go to Minneapolis for the weekend, and like you're just going there just to hang out on a random weekend. The hotels aren't like typically all that full, so you get it's still expensive, but you don't pay like up the ass for a hotel room.
Right, whereas like it could be Super Bowl week. And they could
if it's Super Bowl week in Minneapolis, you can't find a hotel room. Star Wars Celebration. Imagine all the people that are going to be trying to stay in that hotel.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
We're
crazy.
probably not getting in. We'll probably have to go back and stay in the hotel. But our when we go to Star Wars Celebration, if it's still in Anaheim, and
I think it'd still be cool enough to, even if you don't get a room, possibly just
if you could just go in
there,
If you could
because you know the
sneak in.
lobby's gonna.
You could just sneak in.
Yeah,
Yeah, even just to walk in the lobby.
just
I've seen pictures of it, dude. It is insane. It is literally you are on a Star Cruiser. I mean,
That's awesome.
You are on a starship. Like supposedly the windows, like they'll be like made in a way. They'll be like made in a way so that, like, you are looking out into outer space.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Like supposedly, I think most of the pictures are concept. I don't think very many people have. I don't even know if they're done. I don't even know what it's like.
If they're like breaking ground yet.
I don't even know if they've broken ground yet. I guess because most of the pictures didn't have people in them. So I don't know. I don't know what. But it's gonna be insane.
It's gonna.
I'm hoping if it's like anywhere around $1,000 for one night, I'll do it.
I'll do
but
it. I'll do it.
If you're getting more than a couple grand,
I'm gonna
$6,000
win the lottery. We're gonna stay in a penthouse.
Absolutely.
The whole weekend.
Absolutely,
The
dude.
whole
If I win the
weekend.
lottery, we're gonna stay there for a week.
Oh, we're gonna live there.
We're
gonna live there for a month.
We're staying in the captain's quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that'd be lit. Yeah, $30,000 to live there for a month.
So what?
And then we still got to buy all of our stuff. Still got to make lightsabers and go to the cantina and go
Get
to Star Wars
milk.
Celebration. Can you imagine the box or the trunk, if you will, of things that I'm gonna come home with and you're gonna come home with from? We're gonna have to drive separate. Or we're gonna have to rent a U-Haul to take out there to bring up.
Yeah.
If there's like a vendor, there's always like vendors and stuff that sells all sorts of stuff. And you can get autographs and everything. Oh, that's gonna be rough on the old bank account. I should start saving money for it now.
I know.
I actually have a little bit, but dude. Thanks for coming back on with me tonight.
Oh yeah.
Nice
Check us out next week.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Season 2. Man.
What are we thinking? Like Monday?
Dude?
Monday. We'll just start doing Mondays.
We can do Mondays.
We do Mondays.
Mondays, Tuesdays.
Get the Mandalorian while it's fresh in your brain.
Yeah.
And
give people time to watch it.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. We'll be back though. We'll be back. Guys. Hope you guys weren't away for too long. Hope you guys missed the old Imperial Radio crew a little bit. Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.